Here now to talk all things California politics, KCBS political reporter Doug Sovern. Thanks for being with us today. Talking about these gas tax proposals, basically ways the state is trying to ease the pain at the pump. The governor coming up with one proposal to give everybody $400, every car owner $400 to try to erase the state's large gas tax. Where does that stand?
Well, this is interesting because there are so many competing proposals, right? You've got the governor's plan, $400 up to two per household, so you could get $800. Plus, he's got $2 billion in there to make mass transit free for 3 months, and he's got money for bike and pedestrian projects. He's trying to present this balanced approach where everybody gets something. Then you have proposals from the legislative Democrats, which differ. Some are based on how much money you earn. Some are based on taxpayers versus vehicle owners. Then you have the Republican plan, which is cancel the state's gas tax, stop paying 51 cents a gallon in gas tax for the time being. So there are all these competing plans, and basically they're negotiating now. The governor and the Democratic leadership, the Republicans not so much in the mix, to figure out what is the plan going to be. Is it going to be, well, only people who make $125,000 or less will be eligible? Is it going to be anybody who owns a car gets a rebate? Is it going to be anybody who pays taxes gets a rebate? Could it be that, gas prices level off and come down and we don't get anything at all? But the plan is for them to work something out in the next couple of months. And there are literally 4 or 5 different plans there. And, if politics is the art of compromise, they'll compromise and work something out there.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that Republican plan. Is that even feasible? I mean, can we just cancel or postpone the 51-cent gas tax?
Sure. And the way, they're saying a moratorium on the entire gas tax. The governor's actually proposing that we delay the increase. It's supposed to go up another 3 cents this summer. Don't do that. And he also is a little vague on this, but he would suspend the diesel tax or either part of the diesel tax. It's unclear exactly how much. Sure, they could do that. They could say the state will stop collecting this gas tax. What critics of that say, and we've had some experts on the radio talking about this, is, okay, let's say California says we're not going to collect the 51-cent gas tax. Well, there's no obligation for Chevron or Exxon or Shell to lower their price 51 cents. They could say, all right, well, we'll just keep it at $5.99 a gallon, and great, we get to keep the rest of that money ourselves. So there's nothing to force the companies that sell you the gas to actually lower their price by the amount of the gas tax if it's suspended. So that's why critics of that say that's not really going to work. Plus, the Democrats in the legislature in particular want to keep that money coming in. It's earmarked for other things. It goes into the general fund. They need the money to pay for transit and bridge repairs and things like that. So they don't want to see that money disappear. So I think that is really probably a non-starter as a component of whatever they agree on.
Let's talk a little bit about the politics behind this, because everybody knows gas is more expensive in California. It's because of these taxes, but people don't pay a whole lot of attention to that when gas prices are reasonable. But, when we look at how much we're paying versus how much people are paying on the other side of the country, and they're complaining, and people are just getting mad, is this going to lead to any fallout for politicians?
I think it already has. I think the unhappiness with inflation and with the price of gas and what that means for people who can't, who have no choice but to spend all this extra money, and it leads to higher food costs and delivery costs and everything else. I think that all is sort of combining into what you're seeing with this voter disenchantment, where they're unhappy. They don't like the direction the state is going. They don't like the direction the country is going. They may take it out on the Democrats in November. It's already hurting. And that's why these politicians are responding and trying to come up with something to say, all right, look, we hear you, we want to help you. I mean, $400, if you got a $400 check from the state, that's more than you pay on average in a year in gas tax. I mean, the average Californian pays about $300 a year in gas tax. So that's actually a little bit of a bonus. But I think it already is hurting them. And also remember, in California, we pay not just more in gas tax, we pay more because our fuel is a special blend because of our environmental rules. They have to craft a gasoline for us that they don't sell in Tennessee or Texas. And that costs more. So the refiners have to spend more on production, which translates into higher prices for us at the pump. The difference in the gas tax, we hear 51 cents. That's only about 20 cents or 25 cents more than what people pay in other parts of the country. So the bigger difference in the price we pay, and I have brothers in Texas who, when we're paying $5 a gallon, say, oh my gosh, we've never paid $3. And now they're into the threes while we're up at $6. It's not just the gas tax. It's all these other elements. And it's also the demand in California. More people drive and have to drive, and the refiners and the marketers know that. They charge us more. We're willing to pay it.
So let's talk a little bit about the timeline here, because it seems like everybody's fumbling all over themselves trying to make something happen quickly, but things never move that quickly in Sacramento. So what are we looking at here? And then what if the prices do go down before they're able to actually come up with a solution? Is everything sort of moot then?
Well, we'll have to see. And, as we've seen, things can move quickly in Sacramento. Look how quickly they passed that bill for the universities in CEQA to let Cal enroll its students in the fall. They could get this done very quickly.
It's just rare.
Right. It is rare. And the thing with the eviction moratorium this week, they're getting that done very quickly. But it is rare. It's noteworthy when it happens that quickly. To some extent, I think they may be stalling a little bit here and sort of trying to run out the clock, because you go out and look at gas prices, and I watch them pretty carefully. They hit $5.99, and they're over $6 in a few places, but you can still find it for $5.49, $5.39 if you search hard enough. They haven't gone up much in the past week. I've seen $6.05 a couple of places. They seem to have plateaued right around $6. So, and the price of oil has been fluctuating up and down over $100 a barrel. They could level off. They could start to come down if that, if the Ukraine-Russia thing is resolved through peace talks. And you could see gas prices start to come down. Now, $5.89, $5.79, that's still insane historically, way more than we've paid. But if the pressure starts to ease up, it could be that they say, we looked at this and we don't think it's necessary, or they just sort of let it peter out, or say they couldn't reach an agreement. It's possible nothing will happen. But I think their goal is to get something done, possibly as part of the May budget revise coming up, a little over a month, certainly by the time the budget is done in June or July.
All right, Doug Sovern, political reporter with KCBS Radio. Thanks for your insight on that.
Thank you, Anne. Always great to speak with you.